We are so excited to have everyone here. Look across this room. We have an amazing representation of people across the county. I'm going to talk a little bit about how you represent in a few minutes, but we have Lieutenant Governor Lawton here, and she has to get going, so we want to put her on right away. Governor Lawton has done a lot of work with community development. She has done foundation work in the communities she's lived in and has supported it in an engaged fashion since she's been Lieutenant Governor. So we are happy to have Barbara here to address us today.
Good morning. I am delighted to get to sort of set the table for your creative day that you have ahead of you. And I'm just going to throw out a lot of ideas that I have. I was thrilled to hear that this community for which I have such great admiration and a great sense of connection. I've learned a lot from the people here in Menominee and from the Dunn County area over time. And so that all of that brain power and creative power is coming together in this process of envisioning your future and reflecting on who you are and what makes that so and how you want to grow together, to me, is just typically smart of the people of this area. And your design for the future will be necessarily strategic and conceptual and emotional and embrace dreams and fears. You'll probably think first of words and images that reflect how you want people to think about this county that is your home. And before you start, and this is going to be incredibly incomplete, so because I haven't spent enough time here, and I need more time here. So please forgive me for what I missed, but these are things that I've had experience with. I think that we need to take a minute for you to gloat as you do an asset inventory for Dunn County. And think about this incredible downtown with beautiful historic buildings. There are communities in Wisconsin that haven't been as smart as you have in holding on to those buildings. And so they have to start literally from the ground up as they rethink a community in the 21st century. You have those buildings. And right in the heart of your downtown, you have legacy chocolates. And I'm telling you, that is the crown jewel. And I just tasted a new one that they just made last night. You're going to have to beat your cleats and get to the door, the Bordeaux 99% that Michael could retire and his best life's work has been done. This is it. You have this extraordinary natural setting and plentiful recreational opportunities, and if we did that bit by bit and listed everything that was here, we could go on for a long time. You have an amazing system of libraries, a tremendous educational system in your K-12 schools. You have Chippewa Valley Technical College that is one of the most progressive in terms of thinking of new possibilities and looking at partnerships with UW-Stout and UW-Eau Claire. And you have UW-Stout. And I'm a huge fan of UW-Stout and Chuck Sorensen and all that has been done. And one of the most important things to this project, and there are lots of assets to UW-Stout, to the whole Dunn County area, to be accounted for. One is, at the very beginning, that they went through the Malcolm Baldrige quality training. And that means that they have trained people who can help in leading in this visioning process. That there are people who really have unique talents and have been through processes that can be helpful. Breeding, they've bred the kinds of leaders that you need. You've got this new Polytechnic Institute designation that sets it apart from anything else in the entire state of Wisconsin and for a long distance around. You have the state of Wisconsin's biggest university arts department. And it's extraordinary, the range of work that is being done there. And then what happens when there's a kind of cross-pollination between the arts department and the parts of the Polytech Institute in terms of design and what that can mean in all different realms. You You have a heritage museum, the Holbein Museum of Science and Technology, the Empire and Pine Museum, the Mabel Tainter Theater, unique not only in this state, but one of the top in the nation, and nearly complete in its restoration. You have the very important groundwork as you reflect on the future for Dunn County that was done by Renaissance Menominee. I have participated in some meetings and been briefed by them over the last 4 years of holding office. And what Renaissance Menominee has done to provide sort of a cultural infrastructure, to assess it, to beef it up, to bring events into this community, to keep people thinking about how to capitalize on what is the essence of the arts and culture heritage and what will be the future of Menominee. It's an amazing jumpstart that you have. You have membership and leadership in Momentum Chippewa Valley, the Regional Economic Development Organization, and you have the expertise of the people who have been involved in that for years to keep a vision. This can help you keep your vision clear within a much larger context. And you have Dan Osterman from Menominee as president of that organization. Is Dan here? I didn't see him. You have already established a young professionals group, and I will talk more about that later, but that's a very important group to have active and informing your work. You have the farmers market. You have on its way, you may not know this, but the Americans for the Arts and the Wisconsin Arts Board have sponsored an arts and economic prosperity study that will give you statistical data that will help inform how you can connect to these organizations and build on them as you look at economic development. You have West which is just one of the most inventive and important and interesting CAPs. And you have the Harmony, I can't remember the whole rest of the name, Harmony Center, which I toured quite a few years ago, that the West Cap was part of, and other organizations, and now it is a critical center of activity here in this area. You have manufacturers that are thriving here, from ConAgra and Anderson and Phillips Plastics and Badger Ironworks to 3M that recently made a very conscious decision to expand in Dunn County. You have proximity to great airports. You're in the middle of a very attractive and lively corridor. And you have, interestingly, Wisconsin has overall a much lower than average birth rate. But Menominee County is higher than the state of Wisconsin, which is interesting. I don't know, because thank God at the times that I've been passing through here, I don't know, but I assume that you have good healthcare infrastructure. So you have a lot to boast about. You have some challenges to be met as you think about where you're going in the future. The average annual wage here in Dunn County is only 84% of the average wage for the state of Wisconsin. You will suffer, as we will across the state of Wisconsin, because we have a higher than average percentage of baby boomers in our population. And we are beginning to retire. We're going to be retiring at an escalating pace. And that is going to have a profound impact on the workforce. Not only is there a need to think about knowledge transfer right now, but if we're creating the right kinds of new jobs and businesses are growing, how are we going to attract and retain people here? Just as we're doing an inventory, the largest industry in this area is educational services. The second largest industry is warehousing and storage. The third largest employer industry is food services and drinking, which is seasonal, mostly part-time, low-paying, and these are areas that have to be looked at. The fourth largest is general merchandising stores.